This is Harlow, and she is ready to be filled with some new spreads for July. If you missed me starting off this bullet journal, I'll have a link to that video in the description box below. Between that video and this video, you're getting a lot of spreads this month. If you watch that video though, then you know that in those spreads, I used a lot of craft paper. So I did my best to resist that temptation for July's spreads. And I'm very proud that I only had a few minor slips. I love how they turned out though. I just feel like Harlow's off to a fantastic start, to be honest. You're doing well, girl. I'm talking to my bullet journal now, so that's good. That's really healthy. There's a mood tracker in here in particular that I am all like hard eyes for, so I'm very excited for you guys to see it. I will stop chatting. Let's get into it. Starting things off by creating the outline for my main calendar for July. I've been creating small calendars lately, so I wanted to switch things up by going back to a more traditional look. The summer months definitely tend to be busier filming seasons for me, so the extra space comes in handy for scheduling. Each day is 7 by 7 dots. I really like a square look for my month at a glance, and there's a good amount of room for comfortable writing. Because it's July and July means summer, I was gravitating towards integrating a bit of yellow into this month's spreads. So I colored in the top row where I'll be writing each day of the week with my Tombow dual brush pen marker in the color 991. It will be linked below along with links to everything else I'm using in today's video. To fill in the gaps in the calendar, I just drew some simple diagonal lines by hand. Diagonal lines are one of my go-tos for filling in large spaces because they're pretty forgiving, so I don't feel pressured to use a ruler. I used my micron in the size 08 to create a simple title for the spread in cursive writing, and then I pasted in with these adhesive squares a mini craft paper rectangle to act as a title for a summer to-do list / bucket list. I mentioned it in my last video, but the white jelly roll in size 10 is just really beautiful for creating headers. I'm kind of obsessed with it right now. And then I went in with my black micron to write out my list of things like take a walk on a new path, make homemade sangria, pool day, read outside, perfect an iced coffee recipe, which is definitely something I need to get to, experiment with chalk, summer barbecue, and so many other things I need to get to. There was a bit of a gap at the top of the right page, so I use this as an opportunity to write down a John Mayer lyric that says, "'Cause a little bit of summer is what the whole year is all about." It's from his song Wildfire, and I found it when I was trying to Google summer quotes, and it just seemed really fitting. The last bit of craft paper you'll see this month is used for the title of the next spread, which is a spending tracker. I don't know why I sound excited about a spending tracker, but I guess I am. I don't know. I plan to be back in Toronto in July, so I feel like I just need to get back into the habit of tracking my spending and budgeting because I haven't really been spending at the same level because I've been back home. This is, again, a pretty minimal design with a section for recording food, home, clothing, beauty, and other purchases. Since I knew the design was going to be pretty clean, I like that I added some skinny rectangles filled in with lines just to make each section stand out. I could have gotten a similar effect by adding some color to the boxes instead, which might be an appealing option to many of you because adding all those tiny lines does add some extra time to your journaling session. Each category is designed to have a spot on the left to write down the purchase that was made, and in the column to the right you can record the amount you paid with a grand total at the bottom right column that can be calculated at the end of the month. The spread definitely needed a little something at this point, so I brought back my Tombow and added some color to the grand total rectangles, and I was really happy with how this came together. The next spread is a mood tracker, and it's been a while since I've created a fun coloring in mood tracker, so I decided to make one for July. This mood tracker is inspired by a doodle I created in a video a couple of weeks ago all about Procreate. In that video, I showed a step-by-step on how to create animated doodles and text, and one of the doodles I animated was a glass of juice with a straw, so I thought this would make a great mood tracker, and I drew it on my bullet journal. The cup is divided into 31 sections that will be filled in daily with the color that corresponds to my mood that day. At the bottom of the cup, I created a legend that lets me know which color to use for each mood: happy, neutral, blue, and angry. Obviously, there's a large spectrum of emotions, but I like to keep my mood tracking for more fun spreads like this simple, so I'm sticking to just 4 moods. Since I'll be visiting the mood tracker every day, I wanted to make the spread beside it also something that I could fill in daily. So I created a 3-column chart with enough slots to fill in something good that happened each day in July. This spread works really well, I think, with the mood tracker because it is an activity that'll either reaffirm good mood days or help lighten the not so good ones. The drop shadow here was an opportunity to add some color and tie the 2 spreads together. I used a black micron pen to outline the drop shadow, and then to make it look a little bit more unique than other drop shadows, I also went in with a Muji gel ink pen to create the retro pattern, which is another pattern that I have used in quite a few spreads throughout the last year to, sprinkle in some fun. We're at the weekly layout. I started off by making 8 rectangles, 4 on the left page, 4 on the right, to give myself space to write lists for each day of the week. I knew that I wanted to make this layout look a bit different than usual, so I opted to write the day of the week on the left side of each rectangle rather than on top, and use that spot to also bring in the yellow color that you have been seeing me use throughout all of these spreads in this video. I realized when doing this I accidentally outlined the 8th box, which was originally supposed to be a blank space for adding a quote. So you can see me take a long pause here because I'm just trying to do some mental gymnastics to figure out a solution that didn't involve whiteout, and I ended up deciding on making the 8th rectangle a spot for writing upcoming events for the next week. So I'll write those plans horizontally to match the way that the titles are all written. Each day has a mini habit tracker incorporated to the top of the rectangle. There's a spot for tracking hydration, meditation, working out, and gratitude, represented by the letters H, M, W, and G. And once again, for the last time in this video, I am adding a black drop shadow. I did this using a ruler and my micron again in the size 08. I'm so pumped to use all these spreads this month. As always, I want to hear which spread was your favorite in that comment section down below. Also, I am planning on doing an updated student/work bullet journal spreads video this summer. So if there are specific spreads that you want to see, let me know also in the comment section down below. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already. Like this video if you enjoyed it. I'm gonna just sit here and continue ogling my mood tracker. And I will see you all very soon with a new video. Until then, bye everyone. I don't know why I looked at you thinking you were gonna communicate with me. Things are getting really crazy in 2020. Okay.